So what's going on, everyone? My name is Adi, and today I'm starting a new series here on YouTube with starting an SMMA as a complete beginner and entirely from scratch. So if you are clicking on this video, I'm sure that you have some sort of information or knowledge in the whole SMMA space. You may even have your own agency, but of course I'm not expecting this video to get a lot of traction. It's primarily just to document my own journey and see what results we can achieve as we go through the process. All right, so before I hop into my laptop here and actually get into the structure of this series, I did just want to mention that I'm not a complete beginner when it comes to the whole SMMA area. Back in 2020, I purchased a course from one of these SMMA gurus that I'm sure most of you guys know. It was about $1,500, and just going through this course, a majority of the time I felt confused and lost. They never talked about the important things as they should have. Most of the time, it was just promoting affiliate links and talking about stupid things like, oh, what microphone you should buy for sales calls, right? Things that just don't matter. Anyways, the reason I'm bringing that up in the first place is because if you're sitting there thinking that you need to purchase one of these courses from one of these SMMA gurus, I personally wouldn't agree with that because there's so many free resources online nowadays. Whether it's from guys like Max Pearson, who have like free SMMA courses that teach you everything A to Z, or guys like Joel Kaplan who have the same thing, right? So there's no reason to kind of fall into that trap of spending thousands of dollars nowadays because all these resources online, and these are the resources that I'm going to be using for this series. So just wanted to give a quick heads up about that. But with that being said, I'm just going to hop straight into the laptop and we'll go from there. All right, perfect. So now that I'm in my laptop here, I'll go through the structure of this series. So I've created a quick Figma board here actually, and I've separated the whole series into three sections. So it starts with foundations planning, goes into client acquisition, and then service delivery at the very end. So once again, when it comes to a lot of this stuff, I am a complete beginner, as I mentioned earlier, and don't really have much experience. But that's exactly why I created this series, right? Although there are a lot of valuable resources online, I couldn't really find a lot of information on like the specific things. So in this series, we're going to be learning pretty much everything. So starting Facebook ads, how to run them, understanding the whole sales meeting process, what we need to know before even getting into there, onboarding, et cetera, right? The whole process pretty much. So yeah, let's just take a quick look at everything we're going to be covering before we really get into it. So foundations planning starts with some basics. So picking an agency name, purchasing the domain and email, and also warming up that email. And then it goes into niche selection, service finalization, and offer and pricing. So after that, we're going to move straight into the client acquisition process. So this is where we create our outreach plan. So we're going to decide on the method of outreach that we're going to be using. We're going to be creating scripts for our outreach, and then we're going to be developing an outreach tracker where we're going to be tracking everything pretty much, so we know exactly what type of results we're achieving. And then sales meeting preparation, creating the slide deck, creating some trackers, and then essentially mastering the material because there's so much to know before you even connect with these business owners because that's where they're going to be asking questions about what is this, what is that. So you really need to know the A to Z and how to actually handle all of the objections in this phase. And then the onboarding process. So we're going to be creating an entire funnel. So the onboarding form, contracts, et cetera, et cetera. And then lastly, the service delivery. So this is where we understand how to run Facebook ads. We're going to be creating a marketing strategy for specific clients. So gaining access to their admin accounts, creating offers, identifying the customers, and then we're going to be launching the ads, and finally it goes into results. So yeah, that's the structure of the series. This is the entire process we're going to be following from A to Z essentially. All right, and a quick disclaimer. I have actually gone through this process just a little bit, which is why I'm even talking like I have some experience in the space. But for instance, I've connected with some business owners, I've done the whole outreach thing, and I've even been on one or two sales calls. So yeah, I just wanted to make that clear, but I did just want to step back a little bit and document everything from the beginning in case there is someone who stumbles across this video who's kind of in the beginning stages of their agency. So they would just want to have some reference material from the very beginning. I don't want to jump ahead. But yeah, I just wanted to make that clear, just so you guys know. But yeah, as of right now, we're just going to be going to the start of this list, and we're just going to be following everything on this board. All right. So with that being said, let's just go straight into it. we're just going to be starting from the very top here. So under foundations planning, there's a couple different items. So it starts with the agency name, purchasing the domain and email, and also warming up that specific email. Of course, I don't need to spend too much time here. For agency name, I kept it really simple. My last name starts with T, so I named my agency T Consulting. Of course, I don't want to spend too much time on stuff like that, right? In the past, I've gotten caught up with, the things that don't really matter too much, like creating a logo, creating a website, um, you know, deciding on an agency name. These are things that should be very quick, in my opinion. So I don't want to make that same mistake once again. So for things that don't really require too much effort, I'm just going to keep it that way. I'm just going to move through them very quickly, and just really focus on the things that matter. Because once again, I want to get this agency off the ground and moving as fast as I can. So it starts with agency name. Once again, T Consulting is the name I chose. I'd suggest you guys just quickly pick one. Don't put too much effort towards it. Um, and then purchasing a domain and email. This is just done on Google Domains. That's the website I used. I know there's a couple different options like GoDaddy and whatnot, but I decided to purchase it using Google Domains. So once again, that's not something I really need to cover. The next item is email warm up. So this is actually something I'm going to be showing you guys. I warmed up my email using a software called Instantly, but it was entirely free. I know there's a lot of videos out there on YouTube that show how to warm up your email, but you have to pay a certain amount or you have to be subscribed to a software. This method that I'm going to be showing you is entirely free. So warming up our email is something we want to do in the beginning stages, just so we can start using our email with outreach and it goes to their primary inbox instead of spam. All right, so I'll just get into showing you guys how that is done. All right, cool. So to warm up our email, we're just going to come over to instantly.ai, and we're just going to go ahead and create an account. So this won't take too long. I've gone ahead and created a test email just for the purpose of this because I've already warmed up my business email, right? So yeah, test email, and then I think my email is Addy tester email gmail.com, and then just go ahead and create a password. I agree, and then join. And then it's just going to ask to verify this. So if you come back to our Gmail here, it's an email, check the spam folder. Hopefully I did put the right email. Oh, there it is. Okay. So click here to confirm your email address. Cool. So we're just going to skip through all of this now that we have an account. Blah, blah. Okay. Perfect. So now that we're here, we've got our instantly.ai account. We're just going to click add new. Click the first option, Gmail, and then it'll bring this up. So this is going to be a bit of a process. It might be a bit confusing, but if you just watch how I do this, it's pretty simple. The first thing is to enable IMAP. So if you go back into your inbox for your email address that you're trying to warm up, go ahead and click the settings button right here, and then just do see all settings. And then you just go to forwarding and POP/IMAP. And then over here, all you have to do, it says IMAP is disabled. All we have to do is enable it. So if we go ahead and click enable, and then we just do save changes, that is done. All right, so IMAP has been enabled. We can just go ahead and click this blue button. Okay, so when we're here, we're just going to go ahead and click option 2, which is the app password. So the first step is to go to your Google account security settings. If we just click this hyperlink, it'll bring us into this page. And then all we need to do is come down to this section where it says how you sign into Google. And then we're just going to click two-step verification. All right, and then we're just going to click get started here. And then you just have to put in your phone number and then click next here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So let me just check my phone here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and put the code in that I got from Google. If you check your messages, it'll just send there right away. And then we click next. It worked, and then you just turn that on. Cool, so step 1 is done. If we go back to this list, we did enable two-step verification. And see number 3 here, it says create an app password. It'll be linked, so you just have to click that. And then it'll bring you directly into this page where it says app passwords. All you need to do is just write something here So we could just name it instantly.ai, maybe something like that. I don't think that matters too much. We just click create new, and then you're going to get your app password right here. I would suggest just recording it, writing it down somewhere, in case you ever need it in the future. But just maybe take a picture or, like, I don't know, write it down somewhere. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that, hit done. All right, cool. So now that we've created our app password, you just want to come back to this instantly page. Go ahead and click next, and then you just fill out your information once again, and then we just create a password. Oh, this is the app password. So yeah, just copy the app password that we did earlier, and then we're just going to paste it into here. Connect. Cool. So now we're connected. So as you can see, our email has been added, the one that we want to warm up. And in terms of the next step, we're just going to go ahead and click the flame here, actually. So it just says enable warm-up. Just go ahead and click yes, I understand. Warm-up enabled, but we do want to, oh, I just disabled it. So we do want to change some settings, see what's happening here. I think they did change this format just a little bit. Let me see if I could open this up. Yeah, okay, so the settings here. So if you just go ahead and you click right here and you click settings, it'll bring you into this area right here. There's a couple things that we want to change because it says daily campaign limit. It says 50. I'm pretty sure that's a bit risky, so it needs to be at a much lower number because, once again, we don't want our email to get flagged in the process of just warming it up. So from 50, I think I'm just going to go ahead and change that to a lower number, maybe something like 20, maybe even 25 you guys can do. And then we're just going to go down a bit. And then there's this area right here which says increase per day and daily warm-up limit. So daily warm-up limit 20 as we set, and then increase per day, I think it could be anywhere from 1 to 5. You guys can do something like 3. I'll just go ahead and do, I don't know, 2. I'm sure 3 is okay as well. And then we just go ahead and click save. Perfect. So this will start sending emails every single day, and just warming up your email pretty much. And there's a 14-day free trial, I think it said that somewhere earlier, but that's all we need. We just need 14 days to warm up this email address, and while that's warming up, we can move throughout the process of getting this agency set up. So while this is warming up, we're just going to keep moving forward. But yeah, that's pretty much the process for warming up the email. I know it was a bit. There were a couple things that you needed to do, but if you just quickly, if you slow down the video and follow along, it was pretty simple. All right, so now that we're back into the Figma board, we can go back to where we were. All right, cool. So from foundations planning, we've gone ahead and we've done agency name. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that as green as well. We've gone ahead and we've purchased the domain and email, and we've discussed that. And email warm-up, we've completely gone through that process as well. So all of that is completed. And if we move down this list, there's a couple things left in foundations planning. So there's niche selection, service finalization, and offer pricing. So these are things that I've already done and built out, but I just want to once again show you guys the entire process. So I'm just going to hop into this page here where I've created everything and I've kind of planned it out earlier. So let's start off with niche finalization because it's the first one we're going to be talking about here. So in terms of niche finalization, I've actually compared a couple different niches. Of course, there's like thousands of niches that you could potentially work in. And, I kind of narrowed that list down and just kind of decided between 3. So that is car detailing, construction, and long-term care. So construction in general, I know that's been a pretty popular niche in like the past probably year, whether it's like solar related or just renovations and all that type of stuff. I know it's a very saturated niche. And then long-term care, I've actually heard a little bit about that recently in just some YouTube videos. I've seen some creators talking about how it's kind of one of those untapped niches where there aren't a lot of agencies operating. So I figured I'd kind of research into that one as well. So yeah, as you guys can kind of see on the screen here, I compared these 3 niches as well as car detailing. So I did the pros, the cons, talked about the pricing structures within the niches, and then also what are the sub niches within those. So for instance, let's look at construction. We know the pros of construction niche. It's pretty lucrative, high ROI activities. It's pretty high ticket. There's like a bunch of different sub niches as well, whether it's like solar, commercial construction, bathroom remodeling, the list goes on and on, right? And it's very high ticket, as I mentioned. Cons, there could be some longer sales cycles. People aren't getting renovations done all year round, maybe. There might be seasons where it's popping a bit more than, others. Um, and then it could be like a varied audience as well. And then if we talk about long-term care, which we compared as well, the pros, it's a growing market, of course. There's stable demand. There's always going to be a need for these long-term care facilities. It's a higher budget as well. So it's definitely one of those niches where the clients are paying a lot more on a regular basis. So it's very consistent in terms of the amount they're paying. And then cons, in terms of marketing, of course, you also have to look out for sensitive topics, certain things, the way you advertise, your products, and then longer sales cycles as well. Pricing structure, once again, it's pretty high for that niche. And then auto detailing so just car detailing. I compared this one, and this is actually a niche I was looking into for quite some time. At first, I was also looking into the whole med spa niche. This was like probably a little while ago, and I actually started looking into that, and kind of I was thinking that I would actually get into that niche, but then it just seemed like everyone was like, just watching all these YouTube videos. It seemed like there was just so many people within that niche. So I figured I'd want to do something else at least. I'm not saying that car detailing isn't saturated. Of course, there's so many people within this industry as well. But I figured I'd just check it out. So pros, once again, it's high demand. In terms of advertising, car detailing, I feel like it's pretty good. It's like visually appealing. Like the whole before and after. You could do like a bunch of different types of creatives, whether it's videos, pictures. It goes on and on. Um, Seasonal trends, there's a lot of like spring cleaning, New Year's cleaning, like that type of stuff. Cons, I did write seasonal demand. I'm not too sure if that's entirely accurate. I did use some, Google stuff to research all of this. So, of course, it could vary. It might not be 100% accurate, but once again, I just kind of analyzed it um, just for that reason. Competitive market, once again, I did notice that, like, of course, it's not as saturated as some other niches, I feel like, but of course, it's still going to be a competitive market for sure. And then pricing structure. So that's something I analyzed a bit more carefully, because I know there's a lot more. Um, there's a lot of services within the whole car detailing niche. So it starts off with like the lower end, a quick vacuum clean, and like a rinse, that type of stuff, which is like probably like around $60 to $100. And I didn't want to do something that was that low, essentially. So I noticed that there was a lot of options within the niche itself. So for instance, they have paint protection film, which goes up to a couple $1,000s. I'll get to that in a second, because um, I did analyze that a bit more carefully. But yeah, there's like luxury cleaning, premium car detailing, all sorts of stuff. And then I noticed that there's also sub niches. There's some mobile car detailing, and then I don't think these are things I would explore, like boat and marine detailing, but I just wrote it down just to keep it there. And then there's also car wraps and graphics, window tinting, um, and car performance and tuning and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I figured I'd actually go through with this niche. So this is the one I finalized. This is the one I'm going to pursue for this challenge. So yeah, in terms of niche selection, we're going to be going through with car detailing. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that as green. And then service finalization. Let's go back to our ClickUp board here. And then we have service finalization. I did make a bit of a Google Docs here, um, and I just added it to this board. So we compared a couple different services. So we did Facebook ads, we analyzed YouTube ads, and then Google ads as well. And Facebook ads is kind of just the one I wanted to do. I feel I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on there, so I feel like it's something I could learn. And then YouTube ads, I feel it obviously involves a bit more of a strategy in terms of video production and all that type of stuff. So I didn't really want to. I did analyze it, a part of this, but I didn't really want to go through with it. And then Google Ads, I didn't. Google Ads was just something I feel like I wasn't too passionate about. Of course, I could kind of pursue it and learn, but from what I've researched, it's a lot easier to track your growth with Facebook ads compared to Google ads. So I figured I'd just go through with Facebook ads here. Once again, audience targeting, visual content, so before and afters for car detailing, engagement is pretty high, and local advertising as well. Once again, considerations could be like cost and competition, but this is essentially the one that I'm going to be pursuing. So Facebook ads is our final service. So I'm just going to go back to the Figma board once again, and we'll just go ahead and mark service finalization as green. And then offer and pricing. So that's kind of like the last bit there. We did plan that out, but before I get into that, I did just want to talk about the services for auto detailing, because that's also something I analyzed. So there's a couple different things here. So paint protection film, it's a pretty high ticket service. It could range from $800 to $1,200, and just a lot higher too, depending on what you do. So just looking at this website here, at their prices, its standard is like 1,200, deluxe, which is a bit more, 2,000, and then premium, you've got around 3,000, and then a full body is around $6,000. So I'm pretty sure this one's the most popular one, where this is like the area that's most prone to like rock chips and stuff like that. So I think it would be standard or deluxe, something like that. And then aside from paint protection film, there's car detailing, could range from 150 to 500, depending if it's like premium. And then car wraps, I looked at some websites within my area, and they are generally 700 plus, all ranging all the way to $3,000. So yeah, that's kind of the services that I offered. And as of right now, I definitely want to go towards the higher ticket service, something like paint protection film instead of car detailing. All right. And then we can take a look at our offer here. So yeah, offer is something that, I kind of like sat down and spent some more time on just to think about. Um, Pretty much, these are some notes that I actually just put down from, I think, a YouTube video on creating an offer. But I actually want to go ahead and do a free trial. Pretty much work with the company for free, whether it's 14 days to maybe even a month, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have a lot of experience, and I don't want to go to these companies and say, hey, this is something I can guarantee, and I'm going to get you these results and these many customers. When I have, I don't even have a single fucking clue about Facebook ads, right? Yeah, I've seen some videos, but I want to actually learn it and actually provide some strong value, instead of just chase money from these guys and not end up getting them strong results. So I rather just work for free in the beginning. Maybe get like 2-3 clients, work for free, build up that experience, and then after that we can potentially work on like a paid term, something like that. But in the beginning, I'm just looking to work for free. Of course, ad spend would be something that they would be covering, but in terms of just what I'm receiving from them, I'm just going to be doing it for free. And then post trial, of course, this is something to discuss later. But I think at a nine, if we actually end up learning how to do Facebook ads on like a proper um, in like a proper way, and we actually could get some strong results, then maybe around $2,000 on a monthly retainer plus ad spend and software fees. And I want to look into the whole ROI guarantee, see how I can actually learn Facebook ads in a way where I can go to a business owner eventually and be like, hey, I'm going to guarantee you 10 clients, something like that. But in the beginning, I don't want to, if I have no knowledge about it, I don't want to sell myself and say that I could do this and that when I really can't, right? Because I'm not going to be hiring a media buyer. I'm going to try doing this myself. Of course, later on, a media buyer is something that I would want to bring on. But as of right now, I just want to carry this out myself. So yeah, that's the plan with the offer. As of right now, we're just doing it for free, and then post trial, potentially on a $2,000 per month retainer. All right, so we're back to the Figma board one last time today. I'm just gonna come over here and show that we've pretty much completed the entire section for foundations planning. Some basics, starting figuring out the agency name, purchasing the domain, warming up the email, and finalizing the niche, service, and also the offer and pricing. So yeah, that's all for today. In the next video, we're going to be moving into client acquisition, so getting into the real stuff over there. But as of right now, that's all I'm going to be covering, and this is part one of this YouTube series. Um, if there is anyone that ends up stumbling across this video, I hope you did enjoy everything that we did talk about. And yeah, I'm hoping to drop the next part very soon, so you guys can look out for that. But yeah, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. See ya.